Hello everyone, and welcome back to Renowned Explorers International Society, the Emperor's Challenge, where I have just removed a very pushy cat from my lap, and he's not thrilled about it. Alright, let's move on, shall we? Another run, and this time I have taken a look at the challenges already, and I have decided to try to go for this one. Secret Spotter as the main challenge, and True Grit as the secondary challenge. And wow, I took a long time. To decide on the crew that I have chosen here. Probably way longer than I should have, but yeah, that's right. That's the way it goes. So my first thought going into this, let me run you through very quickly how I came to this conclusion. Was that I was going to take Phelan. No matter what, I was going to take Phelan. And the reason for that, there's actually 3 reasons. But the main reason is her quest, Totally Spy, which gives you 2 secrets right off the bat, along with Rogue Sneaking and Rogue Surprise. Pretty good. That'll contribute to your Secret Spotter, and this does mean, taking Phelan means you don't actually have to have a scout, because Phelan can take Dancing Shoes as her 2nd level buff, and that means that she can use boots, so she can also fulfill the True Grit secondary challenge. She starts with a decent amount, 17 grit right off the bat, and you can give her boots once she reaches level 2, which will let her help with that. Yeah, and then she also gets Government Secret. 1 secret for every 2 journalists in your entourage. I have to pick up some journalists, no big deal. It should be fine. You should be getting a decent amount of campaign anyway, so you should be able to afford them. So, yeah, Phelan's perfect for this challenge. And I'm not sure why the game rates her as a moderately suited. You can tell because the little dude up here has the orange background and a little grimace on his face, a little grin on his face. He does not think Phelan is the best choice, but she's okay at this challenge, which surprised me because it seems like she would be very good. Charles, for instance, he has the little red uh-oh face. That means that he thinks the crew seems ill-suited. And then if he has the... Let's see, let me find somewhere he has a... Oh, he's not going to do that maybe because we only have 1 character. Let's see, let's pick... There we go. See, now he has the green background, so he thinks the crew seems well-suited. So maybe it's just that Phelan alone he thinks is ill-suited. Although I don't think you can even start... Yeah, you can't start with 1 person, so that's kind of an interesting quirk of the process. Alright, so my second character I decided on was Hojo. And my reason for that is, well, Phelan's already friendly or aggressive. Predominantly friendly. And so we need another friendly character. Hojo has Raising the Bar, which grants a discovery, treasure hunt, or a secret whenever you find a treasure, depending on its treasure category. So you just get free secrets every once in a while, which will definitely be useful for Secret Spotter. And he's a decently powerful, friendly character. I have also heard that he works well with Phelan's story card. I don't exactly know why, but they don't seem like they'd get along very well. I don't know, maybe they would. Who knows? But anyway, I've heard that these 2 work together, so Hojo is a good choice. And that left the captain, and honestly, that was the hardest decision, because there was a time where I contemplated using Phelan as the captain. And let me show you why. I wasn't considering Molly, by the way. That's just a placeholder for now. Phelan gets plus 5% renown from A-rank treasures whenever you find a secret on an expedition. And we will be trying to find a lot of secrets, so that could stack up rather quickly. In order to complete Secret Spotter entirely, we need like 20 or 30 secrets. So that's going to be, 20 to, 20 times 5, if they all counted, would be 100% extra renown from A-rank treasures, which is a lot. But we're playing Emperor's Challenge, so we don't care about renown. It just doesn't help us that much. I mean, it helps us a little bit. We get 2 points for like 5,000 renown, 2 points for 7,000 or something like that. But it's just not that good. And so it seems like it would be, there should be someone else who would have a better captain perk. But honestly, I struggled to find someone with a captain perk that I really liked for this challenge. I was tempted to take Padrino again. Padrino has an okay captain perk. It gets a little bit extra gold when spending insight for campaign, which is definitely a decent idea because if you want to get this grit as high as you're going to need it in order to get the final level of the secondary challenge, you're probably going to need to buy the boots from the secret shop. And in order to do that, you're going to need enough gold to make that worth it. So getting some extra collect when spending insight on campaign could be a good idea, essentially. However, I don't want to get too... I've toyed briefly with the idea of bringing a crew that focused entirely on collect, but also grabbed some secrets. And I honestly think that might be the best way to go for this challenge, is grab a crew that buffs collect as much as possible, especially with Dolores as your captain. Plus have stats from all your collect tokens, and just go full out on collect. And then grab secrets from different story cards and stuff like that. That might be the best way to do this challenge. But I already have all the treasures from Shangri-La for going collect. So I really want to go campaign. And I need to go either campaign friendly or campaign devious to get a new treasure. So I am going to go campaign friendly, and I'm going to take Phelan and Hojo. So that left my captain choice and my last person, and it sort of ended up between Padrino or having a tactician. And the reason for that is because I have been liking to specialize my crew to be very, very good at a particular challenge or two particular challenges. Just so I know every time I see that challenge come up, hey, that's like a free space. We'll almost certainly succeed. We'll almost certainly get rewarded there. And for this one so far, we have a Beguiler and a Quick Thinker. And that leaves Tactician. And if you have those three, then you complete all the requirements for the Wits challenges. Which challenges require a Quick Thinker, a Beguiler, and a Tactician. So, who had a Tactician? Well, Victor has Tactician. Here, let's put him up here. Victor has Tactician. Plus 50% gold from encounter, plus 5% renown, or not 5%, plus 5 renown from encounter. Not great. He is okay in friendly. He's got an AoE here that can affect enemies or friendly targets. It's not bad. It's just not very powerful, 50% speech, and doesn't have any way of buffing it. He has a very decent Encourage, 110% speech power, pretty good, and that's not bad at all. And he starts Tactician. It's good. It's good. But I wasn't real thrilled with his Captain perk, and we're really lacking AoE right now. Phelan has a little bit from War Dance, but that's it. So my second thought was Agatha. Agatha, unfortunately, her +2 study whenever she uses Insight on Study is not going to come in handy very much here. Although the first campaign, or the first expedition, if we decide to try to fill out a research paper right away, it might. But +1 Insight after every expedition is good no matter who you are, right? Doesn't matter what you're going to use it on, +1 Insight is great. And she is an archaeologist and a tactician, which is nice. And she does have a friendly AoE. Now, she gets it rather late, level 3, or level 4. Yeah, level 4. And most of her perks, most of her buffs are around her devious abilities, which is somewhat unfortunate. In fact, all of them are. Yeah, all of her buffs are around her devious abilities instead of her friendly ability. It's about the same as Victor's, but it's a much, much larger area, and it can actually buff itself while it's off cooldown, which Victor's does not. So there is a reasoning there. And other than that, every other person who has the possibility of gaining tactician levels was not a very good friendly character, and so I was struggling there. Now, there's nothing to say that we have to start with someone who's a tactician. We could train them to be a tactician by buying specialty entourages. That is definitely an option. And if that was the case, I probably would go with Padrino. I really like him. He brings an AoE to the party, a very powerful AoE. He has Survivalist, which I have liked recently, especially if we're going to go to the Anagogic Archipelago, which we almost certainly are. Not only because we definitely have some treasures there we have not gotten, and not only because it's good for a friendly crew, but because I have played Phelin's campfire card, Totally Spy, and it specifically says that there's something in the Antarctic Archipelago for her, and I have never found it. So if we are taking Phelin, we are going there until we figure out what's up with her card. I assume that's not just flavor text. I really hope it's not just flavor text. That would be kind of mean, but I don't think so. I don't think it is. It says in the campfire card there's something in the Antarctic Archipelago waiting for her, and so I want to figure out what that is. So yeah, that was my final thought here. This was my two characters I was going to take for sure, and then it came down to whether I wanted Agatha and train her in Tactician, or if I wanted Padrino, in which case I would train him in Survivalist and add Tactician levels from items and from specialty entourages. Now, the other advantage that Agatha had that I did not mention is German import actually gives you 6 secrets, which is a lot, and definitely could make the difference between that decision for me. That means with all these people, just with our campfire cards, we're getting 8 secrets from Phelin and Agatha, and then, well, essentially an unlimited amount of secrets from Hojo. But in the past, it's been like 1 secret, a mission, an expedition or something, which is bad. And then you have government secrets on top of that, 1 secret for every 2 journalists, which is pretty good. So I think this is our crew. It's kind of a weird crew, but that's what I came up with. And it's sort of up to you whether you want to swap Phelin into the captain role for the extra renown, or if you want to put Agatha there. And I think I'd rather have the extra 5 insight, or well, the extra 4 insight over the entire run. 1 from every expedition. It's not much for a captain perk. It's kind of low value for a captain perk, but I think it's more value than 5% extra renown from treasures. Although I could be wrong by that. I could be wrong. I'm almost curious just to see what kind of renown we can get with her, because I've never done a run with Phelin as the captain. I've never seen just how far that buff can go. But I also don't know. There are characters that have captain perks like this, where you gain bonuses for every discovery you find or every secret you find. And I do know for some of them, the only discovery tokens that count are the ones that you get naturally from challenges. The ones that you get on the overworld map or the ones you get from other characters' campfire cards don't actually count toward that. And it may be the same for Phelin, which means that all of these secrets we've stacked up actually wouldn't help her. It would only be secrets that we would find naturally. The ones we got for this Raising the Bar campfire story attached to treasures also doesn't count, apparently. So that's a lot of secrets that would not go toward her captain perk. I don't know if hers works the same way, but I know that some people's captain perks don't count the ones you get from treasures. Like from if you get the research tree perk for natural sciences, which gives you the book that gives you a discovery for every treasure you find. That discovery does not count for for Min Young's captain perk. So yeah, there's also that. So I think I will just take the insight. I think the insight is well, not the better way to go, but I think it is the safer way to go to make sure that we get value out of it. It would feel really bad to not get any value out of your captain perk, or very little value out of it, but that's the way it goes. All right, we will start with the Viking landing, which is unfortunate because we do have some treasures that we have not yet gotten from the Saxon kings, but yeah, we definitely want the campaign to start with, so that is the way to go. Now, it is worth pointing out, because we mentioned earlier, that Phelin could be our person that we do for True Grit, but Hojo will also work just fine. We do actually have another scout. When I picked Phelin, I wasn't sure if I was going to end up picking a scout for our team, and if I hadn't, Phelin could have fulfilled that role very nicely. So keep that in mind. If you find a set of people that you really like, but your main problem is there's no way to get them grit because you don't have a scout, consider Phelin. If you have an aggressive or friendly crew, preferably a friendly crew, she can fulfill that role. Alright. Alright, sorry about that. We just had a small issue. I went about, I was about 25 minutes into recording the first episode. I was getting close to the end of the first boss when I realized something that you guys may have noticed, which is I forgot to switch my challenge back over. Once I was looking at the different challenges up here, I forgot to switch back over to Secret Spotter and True Grit. So I did basically the entire first expedition, having started with Campaign, Token Master, and Discovery Spotter, and only then noticed that, oh wait, I chose the wrong one. Which was quite embarrassing. So I'm going to paste on the discussion portion of that first episode where I talked about my crew members onto this, and then I'm going to load back in right here, and you'll just miss out on the delightful commentary that I had for the first 15 minutes or so of that expedition that I was doing. Yeah, that was a little embarrassing. Oh well. But I told you about it anyway, so I mean, I could have just cut it out and not mentioned it. But here we go. Now you're privy to my misfortune, or privy to my lack of competence. Let's go, shall we? And we do have the right challenges this time. It would have been very hard to do the challenges if we had continued with that one. Well then. Oh well. Alright, here we go. Let's go. Okay, here we go. We're going for the Viking ship. No tutorial. We don't need it. And there's the ship. We're going to go on our way. Wow. I'm still a little bit recovering from the stupidity of that particular error. Yeah. Yep. Anyway, enough talk. Let's fight, shall we? Or, well, I guess we're not going to be doing a lot of fighting. We're a friendly crew. We are a friendly crew. We are going to compliment people, and we're going to be quite generous and well-meaning. Although I guess, you know, Poe was quite a well-meaning character, very nice character, very friendly, but he had a bit of devious in there too. He insulted people a lot, especially Tai Lung. That was part of his fighting style. So he was kind of a little bit of all three, wasn't he? He'd be one of those crew members where he'd be like, Poe the Panda, good and friendly, devious, or aggressive crews. That would be kind of a cool, if they were ever thinking about doing, what would be the term? Copyrighted characters in Renowned Explorers, Poe the Panda would be a fun one. Yes, indeed. Good movies, by the way. If you're not familiar with the reference, that's a reference to Kung Fu Panda, which is a great movie. I was actually really impressed and surprised. The second Kung Fu Panda is actually really good. Almost better than the first one. I'd almost say it's better than the first one, which is really unusual for me. I am typically one of those people that strongly believes that you can't really ever approach the first movie or in a series. The first one's almost always the best. But Kung Fu Panda 2, really good movie. Might be one of those where I'd say is better than the first one. Third one I haven't seen. Can't weigh in on that. Second one is very good. Yeah, anyway. Alright, something odd here. Let's see what it is. A ruined Viking village. Ah, this is the woman that will teach us archaeologist excavation because we are terrible people and don't know how to excavate precious treasures successfully. So, she's going to give us the Grev Master 3000, a state-of-the-art shovel, and teach us the archaeologist excavation perk. And we will, of course, give that to Agatha because she already has 2 levels in archaeology, and I do not believe, nope, she does not have excavation and can't learn it. So cool. Very nice. And wits challenges, which are good for us, but we don't have a tactician yet, which is unfortunate. Because I would like that. Huh. I think I'm gonna go around here and then loop back around. And my thinking is maybe we'll level up before we can get back around here, and I'll give Agatha a tactician perk. We'll see. It's worth a try. Alright, some mushrooms. Alright. Some local Icelandic aldermen. When chit-chatting about the weather, Agatha mentions the search for the longboat. The aldermen are ecstatic. a Viking ship on our beautiful island. Iceland is so full of surprises. We'll make sure to spread the word. Now, I can't remember for sure, but I think the aldermen aren't those the Icelanders that harvest the feathers off of bird nests? I'm pretty sure they are. Yeah. There is a character in Journey to the Center of the Earth by Jules Verne, if you have not read it. Excellent book. The character that they use as a guide in Iceland is an alderman, I believe. Yeah. Alright, anyway. You continue the small talk about the wondrous Icelandic geology and the long summer days. After a while of traveling together, you part ways. The aldermen sure have a liking for you. Okay. And another witch challenge. There's 3 in a row here. Yeah, we probably aren't going to be able to level up before we get to all 3 of those, but maybe we'll level up in the first one or something. You encounter a group of Highlanders who are sweating and breathing heavily. They're the members of the local rugby team, and they're trying to increase their stamina by jogging. But they want to do some trackle drills. Why don't you join us and show us what you got? Unfortunately, we do not have a athlete yet. I was planning on giving Hojo a level of athlete on his first level up, but again, we're not there yet. He can attempt it, 31% chance. Who knows? Maybe we'll get lucky. We did not, indeed, get lucky. Alright, we'll just continue then. And there is our campfire. Now we could do a circle here and come around back here and then go straight up to the end. That's an option. And maybe that is the way we should do it. Okay, that's sort of fortunate, sort of unfortunate. So, I really wanted Hojo's card and Phelan's card. Those are the 2 that they're really crucial to getting early. So Agatha's campfire card, I'm not that concerned about getting early on. It just gives you 6 secrets right off the bat, which is what I have it for. So it doesn't matter when we get it. We can pick it up in the 4th expedition, doesn't matter. Hojo's card, the earlier you get it, the better. It gives you extra super tokens every time you get a treasure. So before you get any treasures, like now, would be ideal, which is when we got it, which is great. But I do definitely need Phelan's before the 3rd expedition, because her card references the Anagogic Archipelago, and I assume that you have to have played it. Well, okay, first of all, I assume there's actually something in the Anagogic Archipelago for her. Secondly, I assume that if there is, you have to play her card before you get to the Anagogic Archipelago in order for it to have effect. So, we definitely need to make sure we get her card. So I'm going to throw away as many as possible to open up the room to get her card, if we can. I'm going to throw away the study card. Gain +1 encounter for Tactician, Beguiler, Quick Thinker. That's a great card, but I really don't. I don't know. Eureka, I'm definitely going to throw away the 3 insight, and we'll play Raising the Bar. Do I want to keep Work the Wits or not? +1 encounter for each level. Tactician, Beguiler, Quick Thinker. We're going to have a lot of those because that's what we're going for. So you know what? I am going to keep it, and we're going to really hope we just manage to grab Phelan's card. It's risky. It's risky. All right. Oh. Is the crew up to his standards? So who does Hojo not like? That's an interesting question, because Hojo and Agatha, it seems like we get along very well together. They're both very orderly. They're both very stern. I feel like he'd like Phelan if he knew if he knew her background. But if he just thinks she's an exotic dancer from Bangkok, he probably wouldn't like her. He probably would indeed wonder what she's doing here. So you know what? I think that's gonna be it. Hojo's gonna be like, what is this exotic dancer doing here? Why do we have an exotic dancer on our crew? We've got me, who's obviously awesome, and then we've got Agatha, who's this older, German professor who knows what she's doing. Clearly, she's very talented and learned. She has archaeology knowledge. She's going to learn to be a tactician. Very impressive. And then you have me, who's strong and quick-witted. And then we have this dancer, who's very good at flirting and charming the locals, but that's about it. What is she doing here, right? What is she doing here? Instead of spending time with the crew, Hojo is categorizing your finds all alone. He mumbles something about increased efficiency. Phelan thinks something is up and asks Hojo if there is a problem. I don't think Fei Lin is an adequate explorer. What is this dancer doing here? What? Fei Lin can't help being a little offended. Fei Lin tries to keep it cool and asks what seems to be the problem. Is she slow of mind? Is she messing around? Or is she uninformed? Which one is he gonna think? Probably that she's messing around because she's just, you know, flirting with the locals and talking real nicely, but not really doing anything else that Hojo would recognize as being worthwhile. Obviously, we know otherwise, but Hojo would not recognize it at this point, maybe. Hojo looks dead serious. Oh, you know what? I forgot about that. No. Oh, no. I forgot that Hojo's card makes someone a tactician. I should have given it to Agatha. Well, darn. Well, darn, well, darn, well, darn. Well, darn. I should have thought of that. I forgot. Now, I don't know if it always gets you a tactician, but so far, last time, I chose a different option. I didn't choose the not serious one. I chose the uninformed one. And both times, he's given a tactician perk. So it might always be tactician. I'm not sure. Well, darn. Makes me sad. Probably should have done that differently. Huh. Well, alright. We'll see. Although it didn't seem to have given her a tactician perk yet. I guess later. I don't know. We'll see when we get back to the world map, I guess. Alright, let's keep moving. And yeah, I think we will do a circle around here. Try to give people time to level up, and then get at least one level of tactician on Agatha, probably. Before we go through all the wits challenges. The crew encounters a group of locals with fake swords and helmets wearing badges saying support Viking history. They greet you. We're the Vikings of days of old. We're from the Viking Committee and look to increase awareness of Viking history. Okay. And they're very excited about our mission, and they're going to give us some campaign. Sometimes you're just lucky. Hojo was getting pretty bored as Agatha was planning the next step, and started picking up pebbles to skim on a lake. By chance, his fifth pebble was actually an old Viking coin. Okay. And we got another encounter here. Ah, the cuddly sheep, of course. But Hojo is a quick thinker, and thinks fast and makes a distraction. Imitating the sound of a hay bale, and they come rushing towards him. We are out of supplies already, and Hojo loses some attack power. That's the one we want them to lose, if anything. Let's go get some more campaign. Ah, some kids playing medieval warriors on the hills, unaware of their homeland's rich Viking history. Agatha teaches them about the Vikings. The kids are impressed and start to play Vikings instead of whatever they were doing, maybe pirates or something. And they'll surely remember you. You know, pirates are an interesting thing in society. I was just talking to my wife about this the other day. Actually, yesterday. It was yesterday. Yes. You know, pirates are a weird thing. I don't know if this is a thing anywhere else, but at least in America, you walk into the dentist office, and this seems like a thing for almost every dentist who works with kids at all. If you work with kids as a dentist, most do to some degree. There's going to be this poster on the wall, and it's going to be of these little kids dressed up as pirates. And so it's something like, a good pirate knows that the best thing you can have is a good smile, or something like that. Okay. First of all, this is patently ridiculous. So, I mean, during the time when pirates ran rampant, which was, well, at least to my ignorance, like 16 to 1800s England? Maybe a little bit earlier? 1400s England? I don't know. I don't actually know. I know England had a big problem with them. And it wasn't that long ago. It was a couple hundred years, but not that long in the span of human history. But pirates were something that people like really despised and feared if you were part of any sort of governing body. They stopped trade. They stole things that belonged to the government or to the people. If you believe, as a lot of Americans do, that the government is an arm of the people, right? Follows the will of the people. So pirates are probably almost universally despised by anyone who is part of a governing body of any type. But now we have these posters in dentist office being like, yeah, be a pirate, kids. Pirates know that smiles are the key to success. And it's just like, you know, if you went back in time and told the people then that we were going to be, you know, basically throwing pirates up on walls as inspirational posters for kids, they probably would have laughed at you. I mean, actually, no, they probably wouldn't have. They probably would have thrown you in an insane asylum, because they tended to do that a lot then. For any sort of mental disorder, they probably would have thrown you in an insane asylum and then laughed at you, and talked about how stupid that was. It would be, you know, my wife and I were talking about this and going, like, it would almost seems like it would be the equivalent now of a couple hundred years from now, people throwing up posters on the dentist's office being like, terrorists know that, you know, smiles are the best way to someone's heart, or something like that, right? Not to have a political opinion here. I'm really not going that direction, but pretty much I would think that almost everyone would agree that terrorism in general, not throwing out any particular group or any particular religion or any particular government of any type, no country or anything in mind here, honestly. I think most people would agree that terrorism in general is just a terrible thing. It's something that we don't like and despise and hope that it goes away, right? And if someone showed up and was like, hey, guess what? In 300, 400 years, we're going to have inspirational posters all over dentist offices, or whatever the equivalent is then, because dentistry may be a thing of the past at the point to some degree. It'll have changed, I'm sure. Saying, like, every terrorist knows that a perfect smile is the right way to go. It's like, really? That seems like it's a kind of poor taste. And I assume that people from England in whenever the time period was, the 1500s, whatever, would have the exact same thought if they walked into a dentist office now and saw little kids dressed up as pirates on the wall of the dentist office, talking about how you know, a good smile is the right way to go for a pirate. That would probably come across as a little light for something that was really important to them. And I think terrorism would be a similar issue for us that might end up the same way, right? It's an interesting thing to think about. I mean, I guess the good thing is that does mean that if that was happening in 300 or 400 years, that would mean that terrorism is essentially a thing of the past, which would be nice. Sort of like pirates are almost a thing of the past now. I know they're not quite. We had the whole Somali incidents for several years there that were really highly publicized, and I'm sure they're still going on. I'm sure they are. I know that's just my ignorance speaking again. I'm sure they're still going on very heavily, but that's really it. We don't have the large scale piracy anymore that was happening between the major European powers. And I think most people would agree that's an improvement for everyone. I don't know. What do you think? It's an interesting thing to think about. That's all. Two villagers keep following you and annoying you with well-intentioned questions. All right, well, convince them to leave us alone. Again, I have no personal political message there. You know, one person's terrorist is another person's saint, right? It's just a matter of perspective, I guess, huh? We do have one character on this party who has a excited buff, and that is Fei Lin. So we'll go ahead and give that to Hojo, and that should let him hopefully one-shot one of these guys to start with. Ooh, actually not quite. We'll give it a try. Maybe we'll get lucky. All right, there we go. Didn't get lucky, but oh well. We will get emotion spreader right now from 2 impressed buffs. Cool. 1 for a point. Rivalo is currently ahead of us, so we'll have to take care of that. Is that a thing in other countries, by the way? Where you walk into a dentist office and they have like posters on the wall for the kids that have like little smiling pirates, or what else have I seen? My dentist growing up did have the posters of pirates. Like, this is something that I actually ran into. It's not just something I've heard about, although I've heard about it as well. But my dentist actually did. Now, my current dentist does not. My current dentist has gotten all high tech and has decided to put up like video monitors, and they're very insistent whenever they decide they need to do something to you, that they show you a video about it first. That's their big exciting thing. Is they're like, oh look, we have this video on what a crown is. Or we have this video on what a filling is. Here's a video about how flossing is good. And it's just like, yes, I'm aware. I have heard my entire life that flossing is good. I know I don't do it enough. Is there anyone who does it enough? Like, honestly, okay, here's a good question. Does anyone go to the doctor's office, or dentist's office, I should say, and they tell you, oh, you've been flossing excellently. You've been flossing, 3 times a day after every meal, and your gums look great, and you don't need to floss any more than you already are. Does anyone ever get told that? I don't think I've known anyone who has ever said they've gotten told that. Even if you go in and you're like, oh yeah, I floss twice a day, they'll still go like, well, you could use some more. It's like, yeah, well, okay. I don't know. Is that something anyone's ever run into? Has anyone ever been told, oh yeah, you're flossing great? Or even, you've been flossing too much? Is that a thing? Is that a thing you can do? I'm very curious. We get some extra supplies here, good. That'll stop us from taking quite so many debuffs. And we should level Hojo up. And I do want that level of athlete. For one thing, because we're probably going to go to Mali. Mali is really good for our friendly crew. And there's a lot of athlete challenges in Mali. A surprising number, in fact. So we'll get that early for that expedition. And our other two still haven't leveled up. They aren't even really close, it doesn't look like. So we'll go ahead and go to these witch challenges. See what happens. Okay, social duties. Feilin has a decent chance of doing this. But anyway, at least for me, I always get told I could do better on flossing, and they're right. I don't do nearly as good a job as I should. I try to do it once a day, but sometimes I don't. And a lot of times it's just laziness. It really is. Now, fortunately, I did inherit strong teeth from my family, from my genes. Feilin's going to play the Viking Jarl. Very nice. So I really haven't had too much of a problem with cavities, and I do brush. I'm pretty good about it. Let's put it that way. I'm pretty good about it, and I have very good teeth. So that hasn't been a problem for me, but I know I could do better on the flossing aspect of it. Hojo finds a small piece of iron. It looks like a broken Viking sword. Okay, let's look around. A Viking battlefield. Okay. Search for treasure. Sure. Hojo finds something. 33% chance of any of those things. All right. And we did get a secret because of Hojo's campfire card, I assume. 10 to 15 status from secret. That's pretty good. All fighters gain 10 armor wouldn't be bad, but we don't have any fighters. So yeah, I think we'll take 10 to 15 status from secret. Getting it that early, it's probably worth it. Alright, we are out of supplies again and lose some speech defense. Alright, only one more node left. We'll give it a shot and then head for the end. Agatha sees that there's more to this book than meets the eye. Very nice. And some studying, some campaign. Alright, what's our last debuff? Feilin losing speech power. Okay. Oh, and we did get another secret. Oh, no. It just finally updated and we got our points for Secret Spotter. Okay. Onwards, let's go. An intact Viking boat, but Arrivalo's already here. And he's going to send Cassandra at us. That's fine for us. Cassandra likes it if you are friendly, so she should be fine with us. Okay. Let's see here. Now we've got our typical grouping here, but unfortunately, our only AoE right now is War Dance, and Feilin is not nearly in position to get to them for War Dance. So instead, we'll do our typical thing, where we back up and attempt to take out the back group. Now, War Dance, I don't believe, buffs itself while it's off cooldown. I don't believe. Let me check real quick. It does not. It also does not buff itself by the amount of people around us. Although currently... Yeah. Okay. Yep, does not buff itself in any way. So it's actually a very weak AoE, unfortunately. Oh well. Hopefully once we get Agatha's AoEs, between Agatha's AoE and Feilin's AoE, we'll be able to do some work. But, we'll see. We'll see. It's a very nice grouping. If we had Agatha's, even her Devious AoE, I would take either one. Would be very nice here. Unfortunately, not the case. Bring Hojo in here. And we could reach out, but let's just take out the mooks. Leave Cassandra by herself. She'll have one extra mook this turn, but that's okay. Maybe. It depends on if Phelan can one-shot. She can, even with the debuff, because they're weak to Excite. That's nice. I was worried that with that debuff to her speech she got right there at the end, she wouldn't be able to one-shot the mooks, but because they are weak to Excited, she can. Very nice. And actually, Cassandra is weak to Excited, which means we should probably put an Impress on her with Agatha, which is our only member who doesn't have an Excited move. And then we can use Phelan's Excited and Hojo's Reaching Out to really do some damage to her. Yep, so there's the Impressed. So now she takes more damage from Speech. Reaching Out will do a very good amount of damage. And then we have Phelan's Excited if we want to go on top of it. Or her War Dance, which is what we're going to use because it also takes out the Mook. Very nice. And she goes, I'll show you, Hojo. I'll show you I'm good at what I'm doing here. Oh, actually, we lost Agatha. I'm kind of surprised. That was a lot of damage. Okay, well. Good thing we didn't start with Ivan or something. Ivan's Captain perk means that you only start with one resolve. Cassandra is really pleased with her approach. Oh my, I haven't seen such well-mannered rookies in a while, yes? I will be rooting for your success. We'll see if that's still true when we get to Shangri-La now, won't we, Cassandra? Please have this treasure map. Alright. You're left with the treasure map. Its meaning is cryptic. What do we want to do? As a friendly crew, I tend to want to do the local ones. In the hopes that we get something to boost our friendly abilities. But the leprechaun would also be very good. But let's do the locals. There. Oh, we got the leprechaun anyway. Okay, well, there you go. +1 encounter at the end of each expedition for each level of Diplomat or Beguiler. 20-25 secrets from status from secrets, or 5 campaign. And yeah, 20-25 status from secrets this early. Pretty nice. Alright, time to meet the Emperor. And then we'll level Agatha up. Maybe next time. Maybe next time. This is already running a little long. Because I've got to add... It's been 26 minutes on this recording, and I've got to add the 8 to 10 minutes of party planning from the beginning there. So it's going to be a little bit of a long episode. And there's our extra insight from Agatha, from her Captain perk. 800 status already? Not bad. Alright, we're going to skip the ceremony with the Emperor. We don't need it, and we are going to grab our Renowned Explorers membership for the 2 supplies. Thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please put a like on the video if you did. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more in the future, and I'll see you next time in Renowned Explorers.